Here we go, guys. For All Mankind. I've never done a review on For All Mankind. I didn't really create my channel until probably got into season 4. So I'm picking up in season 5. And I will just say casually, the first 2 episodes were ish. And I'm not going to go into elaborating why that was the case. But this episode captures the heart and the soul of the series. Again, brilliant, great. It brings out the political storms that we've seen throughout the series. The Russians, the Koreans, the Chinese, Indians, Pakistanians. I can go on. It brings up those storms. It also brings up political storms of tones we've seen in like The Expanse, where the asteroid belt and Mars wants to separate from Earth. You start to see some of those tones in here. And then one of our key protagonists, Ed Baldwin, who's been here all the way since the beginning, he always seems to get himself involved with key political moments. And then, like in this particular case, he is trying to save a friend, and he saved a friend, and we find out last episode he's got stage 3 cancer, he's on Mars, and he can't leave Mars because flying will potentially kill him. Just even a little bit up, not even going back to Earth. So we have that drama around his family, how it's connected, how they're being pulled in different directions. We see some of the key players from before. And we see heart-rendering moments, tears. It was all well portrayed, well put together. We had a couple of flashbacks for things we'd never seen before, and some flashbacks we saw, especially with Baldwin. Just well done show. It's got to be the best episode of TV, sci-fi-ish, superhero-oriented I've seen this year. I know someone going to say, well, there was one episode of Wonder Man was good. This is better. This is so much better. Kudos. And in that end, I'm giving this my highest rating, Latinum, which is 7 out of 7. It's a masterclass in execution. It's heart-rendering, grabs you, shows you the political stakes. It even shows you that there's some companies, or 2 companies that are politically going after each other, plus something else in the background. And then we got what used to be called the MI7, now it's MI6, and some of those guys, one of the members who was MI6 now created something called ISN. And so there's thought-provoking stuff about that intrigue on Earth, how that plays out to Mars, and looks at how it's playing to Jupiter. And this would be potentially Emily winning episode on its own chord, but you don't get those kind of things for a individual episode. An Emmy, maybe Hugo Awards you do. So this probably will get that. And, does this rely heavily on sci-fi at this moment? No, but does it rely a lot on science fiction fact? Yes. And also remember, this is the alternative universe where Russia actually beat us to the moon. And the ramifications of that going on, moon, Mars, asteroids, and now it looks like Jupiter. And there were some key players that are always involved, and we'll see where all this leads. So from this point forward, I could try to minimize spoilers, but I can't, really can't. So we're going to have spoilers. This is not a spoiler. They're actually refugees from Earth that came up on cargo ships, and they call them craters because they came in crates, and they're sort of undocumented they're documented immigrants, not undocumented immigrants. And so they're on there, and they're embraced, not fully, but embraced by the population of Mars, except for the government of Mars and the police force of Mars. And you see that a little bit in this episode. You've seen that in prior episodes. And I talked about ISN, nations boycott the Olympics, M6 iridium policies. Iridium was a thing that they found on this one asteroid that Ed Baldwin helped steal last year for Mars. So this is a political intrigue. It sort of reminds us when we had the boycotts in the Olympics. In real life, they turned it. And it was kind of funny in here. They also showed a picture of Katrina, but it said, oh, it became a tropical storm and then became a hurricane to hit New Orleans. That was the alternative universe thing. And then when the Expos relocated from Montreal and went to Washington, they actually here go to Portland. So then they talk about, this escape that Ed Baldwin helped his friend, Lee Jong-gil, escape and actually take refugee with an ISN post on Mars. And, Baldwin he speaks from his heart, not always logically. And because he's fighting cancer, he actually near his deathbed. And then the Soviets end up appointing this new guy to be governor, who is the heir apparent to, I think it's Khrushchev, and he's got to earn his roles by going on protecting the interest over in Mars. And his wife is saying, hey, Krasinski, that's the heir apparent, he said so himself, and they know that they don't get this under control. Plus, Baldwin's inciting of the rebellion of protecting Lee and causing, I think, an independence kind of movement to start happening here, and then having the police force on there going after him. And one member of the police force is realizing, hey, Lee was set up by a corporation, but why, we don't know yet. And then we see this kind of stuff where they can't say, we can't trust these guys. And, there's Baldwin's grandson and a good friend. And she goes, crazy how much I can see your grandpa in you. And of course, we got him back. Dev. Dev is Dev. Dev is about Dev for himself. Anything that this forwards Dev, it forwards him. He doesn't necessarily care about any of the political stuff, except he's politically himself. So that's part of the political drama that's going on here. And then we know the cop who thinks that another corporation is causing all this. She does an investigation. She goes down to a lower deck type area like we've seen in Babylon 5, and sort of expands, and she tries to get information. The guy won't talk to her, but she's being tailed, and she ends up getting knocked unconscious. Now, we're getting flashbacks in this episode because Ed looks like he's critical deathbed almost. And we finally kind of realize when we start seeing this, he's doing flashbacks when he was in Korea and almost near-death experiences and his friends and remembering stuff and starting to hear a calling that you're coming, like God's calling him. And here you can say, hey, Baldwins. And his daughter and Roselli, who's in charge of Dev's public corporation, talking to Margot, who was now a key player in helping the United States build their space race, but also got manipulated into helping the Russians further theirs. She's in a U.S. prison, and she's telling her, delegate, and then go up yourself to Jupiter and find out if there's really life up there on yourself, and you got to take control of that delegate here. Delegate's a good thing from a business perspective, personal perspective. If you can delegate stuff to people that you know are going to be responsible, do it. And then she's telling Margot, well, I'm going to have to leave you for almost a year. And she's going, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But later, after she leaves, Margot's devastated because that was the only person that kept in conversation with her and told her what's going on. Devastation. This is the tearful moment, one of the tearful moments in this thing. Now we're suspicious Baldwin is dying, and then we start seeing more flashbacks, and all of a sudden, not flashbacks, we see his mind taking himself to heaven, or whatever you want to call it, being saluted by the staff of NASA, etc., etc., being proud of him. His wife greeting him. His wife passed away, I think it was in episode 3, from a terrorist attack. So she's going, I love you, love you. Basically looking forward to greeting him. And then Shane, in episode 1, his son, he was in a moon or somewhere at the time. And Shane had a bicycle accident from a bicycle that Ed gave him and died. So Shane actually shows up on this. And this is the younger version of Baldwin. And Shane greets him too. And he goes and he passes away. A very tearful moment. I want to see how this causes political intrigue to occur, and how it improves the exploration that we see in All for Mankind. Hey, Norbert with Silver Age, please like and subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day. Yeah.